in the ledger, futures intertwined. Satoshi whispers, secrets in the breeze. On the digital gold, stacking sats with ease. Futures intertwined, proof of work. Satoshi whispers, never idles. Hold on my survival. Charge stacking sats with ease. Coins flipping, proof of work. Satoshi whispers, never idles. DeFi dripping, liquidity sipping. Good morning, crypto. The block don't sleep. Digits dance and the market runs deep. Good morning, crypto. The bulls might creep when the whales make waves. The tide's gon' sweep. Candlesticks flicker, patterns in the flame. Bears in the shadows, but I'm ahead of the game. Decentralized vision, my keys, my domain. From the ether to the moon, I'm riding the chain. Metaverse flexing, pixels on my fit. NFT collection, rare gems, no split. Staking on the low, APY on the rise. Good morning, crypto, welcome to the skies. Mining dreams in a digital mine. Gas fees high, but the payoff divine. Flip that coin, watch it land on its side. Heads or tails, the future's decentralized. Fees high, but the payoff divine. Flip that coin, watch it land on the side. Heads or tails, the future's decentralized.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge and financial freedom. Sorry for the late start this morning. I was running a little bit behind, so we're going to try to get through as much of this data as possible. We're skipping over those news headlines today. I saw a few things, but we'll save that for tomorrow when we have a little more time. And if you got any alt requests, go ahead, drop them in the chat now. We'll get to those when we get to them. Let's get you prepped for some success today first. Because, like always, I got that stock heat map pulled up. We're seeing a little bit of some red from yesterday's close, but we're seeing a little bit of green in the pre-market right now. We've got Apple down 1.2%, looking towards the upside this morning, 0.5%. We've got Nvidia sitting down 0.52% from its close. In the pre-market right now, up a whopping 5%. Might be something to take a look at. We've got Berkshire Hathaway up 0.09, looking towards the upside this morning as well, 0.14%. We've got Amazon in that neutral range, up 0.3%. Looking towards the upside this morning as well, up 0.16. We've got Eli Lilly up 0.8%. And continuing on that trend this morning, up 0.11. We've got ExxonMobil down 1.31%, continuing to the downside this morning, down 0.37. We've got Tesla up 1.08%, continuing on that upside this morning as well, up 0.2. We've got PNG looking to the downside from its close, down 2.09%. And this morning, looking towards the upside just a little bit, up 0.15. We've got Microsoft sitting to the downside, just in that neutral range though, down 0.06. And this morning, sitting down 0.28. We've got Google sitting to the upside off of its close, 0.83%, looking quite neutral this morning, been fluctuating between that down 0.1% to about down 0.05%. We've got Meta sitting up from its close yesterday, 0.48, looking to continue on that trend so far this morning, up 0.6%. Let's hop over to the crypto side of things. We've got things looking quite red. Not too unexpected after we did see a little bit of some topping action from yesterday. Bitcoin down 4.2%. We've got Ethereum down 2.4%. We've got XRP down 3.3, BNB down 3.8, Solana down almost 5% right now. We've got Dogecoin down 8%. We've got Tron down 2%, Cardano down 3.5, Hyperliquid down 2.5, Stellar Lumens down 1.2%, looking up 3.3% on that hourly right now, getting a little bit of some pump this morning. We've got SWI down 0.4%, we've got Chainlink down 4.4%, we've got HBAR taking a spot from that market cap from Bitcoin Cash, sitting down 5.5%, while Bitcoin Cash is sitting down 6.1%. We've got Avalanche sitting down 2.2%. We've got Leo token remaining quite stable, sitting down 0.2%. We've got Shiba Inu down 6.1%, and TON sitting down 1.9%. Hopping over to those fear and greeds, stock side sitting at extreme greed now. We did talk about that yesterday, potentially seeing that move over to extreme greed, and with today's data, potentially making that move back down to greed. We'll kind of have to keep our eye on that inflation data and CPI data coming out a little bit later. We will talk about that in just a second. We've got the crypto side of things down a point after some sideways movement for the alts and a bit of a dip on Bitcoin. We did talk about that potential happening if we didn't hold some of those key levels, and we're right to some of those areas we had talked about yesterday. Let's get over to this liquidation heat map because we are sitting right on top of a lot of liquidity right now. We've got that 116,200 being that area to really sweep for the bottom side. We've been bouncing on that level over and over, really stacking up a little bit of liquidity on the bottom side. We do have a bunch of liquidity back up at the tops, 121,000 and 123,000 being those sides for the top side. Let's take a look at that 3-day. Got quite a bit of liquidity on the bottom side there as well that we've been sweeping this whole move back down. We've got that sitting at 116,000 directly below us here on the 3-day as well. Taking a look at that 1 week. 1 week looking quite nice here as most of that liquidity is directly underneath us, and then we've got this liquidity back down at a level we had talked about before we got all of this pump action at $108,000 mark. Don't think we get there anytime soon, but it is an area to keep your eye on just in case we get something crazy on the data and then we get some less than positive news about some tariffs. So $108,000, an area we've talked about over and over, something to keep your eye on. Let's get over to that economic calendar because we do have a lot of data coming out this morning. Gonna be at 8:30 Eastern time. We get our core inflation rate month over month, looking like a bit of an increase there from 0.1% to 0.3%. So looking like inflation rearing its ugly head again. We got that year over year also not looking too good, 2.8% to 3%. So if we are seeing some pumping action this morning, it might just be to send that price a little bit lower. Taking a look at that CPI also increasing, not what you want to see if you're talking about wanting to see some rate cuts. Inflation data and CPI data coming in a little hot is not what you need when you're looking to cut some rates here. We do have inflation rate month over month and year over year. The non-core looking like an increase as well. Month over month, quite similar to core from 0.1% to 0.3% on that forecast. Looking a little hot there. Inflation rate year over year, 2.4% to 2.7%. That's quite an increase on that year over year for non-core. Something to keep your eye on as well is going to be that New York State Manufacturing Index. Seeing a little bit of an increase on that from -16 to forecast -9. Might be something to kind of see some positive data on. I don't think it holds up on a sustainable pump unless you see some of these metrics coming in under forecast. If you do see some of these metrics coming in under forecast, and this New York State Manufacturing Index is positive, positive meaning less than we saw last time, then you might see a little bit of some continued pump action. But that doesn't mean that any of this data is positive. If we see zero point 0.2 on that inflation data, that is under forecast, and people will see that as positive, but it is not a positive. That is inflation heading in the wrong direction. Something to keep your eye out this afternoon. We have a bunch of Fed chair speaking. We have Fed Bowman speaking. We have Fed Barr speaking at 12:45. We've got Fed Collins at 2:45. Scrolled on down just a little bit more to end that day at 7:45. We've got Fed Logan speaking as well. Let's hop over to that Bitcoin chart. Say good morning to the people. We've got Jay Violet first in here saying morning everyone. Smash that like on the way in. I appreciate you, Jay Violet. We've got Curtis Hill in here. Good morning to you. He said good morning to Jay Violet as well. We got Darren Does Things in here. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. We've got Ada Ace in here. I know he's been doing some stuff on his channel in the mornings as well. Let me get that link for his channel. If you're not following him, you definitely should be if you're a fan of Ada. We've got Curtis Hill in here dropping those musical notes. I guess you're enjoying that music before the show. We've got K Diggity in here. Good morning to you. We've got Crypto Billy. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day. Ada Ace talking about Strike Zone in there. That's his show for the morning, 7:10 Eastern time. So be there or be square. Let's see. We've got Jesse in here. Good morning to you, Jesse. Hope you're having a great day. He says Jesse got some sleep. Probably got quite a bit more than me. Mine saying I got 5 hours and 15 minutes. So you probably got me beat there, Jesse. We've got JB Hulk Smash in here. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day. And if you're not a fan, watch it anyway, says Ada Ace. There we go. He's going to be doing some leverage trading on an ADA platform. So a great place to learn, even if you're not a fan of Ada. So, sounds like me living off naps, says Curtis Hill. Yeah, I don't get a whole bunch of sleep. During the week, that is. On the weekend, I try to sleep in a little bit, but my clock is all kinds of messed up. We wake up at like 6 a.m. on a weekend, and my girl's not a fan of it. She's like, "This is our day to sleep in. What are you doing?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm just awake and ready to do things. So we've got this daily looking like it's cooling off just a little bit here. We talked about that platinum pocket wanting to hold as some support if we wanted to continue to see some upside. And if it didn't, looking a little bit lower, we did have that liquidity area at 116,000. Looks like this giant red candle here swept all the way to that bottom side liquidity, and we're trying to make our mind up now. We do have this MACD and a prime oscillator both heading a little bit back down towards the downside. Money flow also kind of getting a bit of a rollover, but your volume's still increasing, so we will have to keep our eyes on this volume, see if that increase of volume comes with some increased money flow in instead of that increase of money flow out. We'll be watching that on about that 1 hour chart this morning and into the rest of the day, because we do have that heavy data drop coming out this morning. I do expect, if it comes out hot, to see a little bit of some sell off. Scrolling this on in, taking a look at that 4 hour, you can kind of see this a little bit better. We did have that nice little pushback up towards our platinum pocket before we got that very strong rejection off of our VWAP, dropped back down, tried to see if we could hold $118,000 on a shorter term time frame, and then we continued back down to all of that liquidity that was sitting at that $116,000 mark. You do have your MACD sitting below your indicator line, continuing to print bigger red candles here on our histogram as your money flow is coming on out and your volume is starting to slow down quite a bit here. Your MACD and prime oscillator heading back towards the downside, not seeing any sideways momentum just yet, but we'll kind of have to keep our eye on that on that 115,750 range. That's the top side of both this fair value gap and our CME gap from the weekend. So keep your eye on that price. There's going to be a little liquidity in that area, as Jesse said in there, liquidity. Yep, just a little bit of that. We've got that 1 hour looking like it's heading a little bit sideways here as your money flows trying to make its way back in. You do have this $118,000 mark where you saw that nice little bounce action off of for a brief amount of time before we really headed back to the bottom side of it, trying to see if we can sweep that bottom side liquidity, get that nice little push back up towards that 118,200 and see if we can turn that into some support. You do have that MACD and your prime oscillator getting a little bit of some curvature here. We're still printing red candles here on the histogram. Your money flow is in the red here. Your volume is extremely low. Your True 7 clipped out. You've got a reversal signal headed our way. Might need to see a few more of those really start to flash before I have confidence in Bitcoin making its way back towards the upside, especially since we're so close to the CME and fair value gap that we're sitting directly above now. Let's take a look at that 15-minute and the morning, see what that's bringing our way here. And you can kind of see we're sitting in the red on that money flow. Let's get this moved over so you can see it a little bit better. Sitting quite red here on this money flow. Heading back out, you have that nice strong dip below all of the levels that we were sitting at as your volume's holding quite steady here on this 15-minute. We've got a peak seeker that flashed right before we got that last little push up, so looking like we might make that grab back down here in our fair value gap. We've got that midline coming in at about $114,000. That topside golden pocket coming in $114,300. So a little bit of an area to watch for some potential bouncing action. Might be driven by that data drop that we're going to be seeing here in a few hours. Let's see if we got any alt requests in the chat. We've got Kyle Fields coming in here. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great morning so far. Let's see. Oh, look, K Diggity found his hat. Finally, took you a while, K Diggity. Let's see, we got anything else in here? Donato Cabrera coming on in. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. 3.5 here, says Ada Ace. Getting less sleep than me. I don't know how you're doing it there, sir, because I'm a little bit younger than you, and 5 hours and 15 minutes is kind of rough for me. Definitely wish I was getting a little more sleep in my life. Jesse saying he got 7.5 hours of sleep. God, Jesse, what happened to you? You used to get like 1 hour of sleep. One question, what kind of hat is that? I've been here just doing my morning things. I made some roast beef last night, so I'm throwing the final seasoning on before I take a break on the meal prep bags. Now I'm kind of jealous. You're making me want to make some crock pot meat there. Let's see what we got. Any alt requests? Nope. We can take a look at some ADA, of course, because we got our ADA peeps in here. So we'll take a look at some ADA. We got any other alt requests for me in the chat? We'll start off with some ADA. Go ahead, throw some alt requests in there for me, and we will take a look at them. Let's get that ADA pulled up, see what we're looking at there, because ADA did get up to some of those levels I was talking about. Lee, BTC dominance coming down, might be worth a look at. Alt's not responding much. Yes, we can definitely take a look at some Bitcoin dominance. I've talked about that one quite heavily. We got BTC dominance, and we've got hype requested and link as well. Let's take a look at all of those, see what we might be looking at for today. Crypto Billy asking that hype. Jesse, are you asking for an asset there with the Pudgy Penguins? Because I've never heard of that one, and it makes me think that you're doing some extra degen stuff in these charts here, sir. That definitely sounds like a meme project. Let's see, we got ADA making that move back up to 76 cents. That was an area we had talked about. Jesse saying, yes, Pudgy, yes, it's an asset. Oh my goodness, Jesse. If we got time, we will take a look at your extra degen play there, Pudgy. You and your asset. Some of these names though, so I don't get it. It makes me think of what was that game that everyone used to play? Whatever. We've got ADA making that move back up to 76 cents, seeing a strong rejection off of that point, and then making our way back down towards that golden pocket. We did talk about wanting to see 72 cents holding as some support here. That's where we're trying to make our move back up above. Right now, you've got your MACD and prime oscillator getting a little bit of sideways momentum here on both of those. We're seeing that volume hold up quite nicely here, but seeing a tiny little bit of a slowdown there on the 4 hour. We'll kind of have to see if that correlates with some selling pressure. If we do see a little bit of selling pressure, I would like to see this golden pocket hold at 70 cents. That is a key area for us right now. We will kind of have to see if we dip below that, where we might come in at, because there's a lot of gapping action right here after we made that strong bounce off of 62 cents and got above the golden pocket. We do have a little bit of an area at about 65 cents to kind of keep our eye on if we're unable to maintain that golden pocket. Let's take a look at this hourly, see what we're looking at there. Hourly seeing a little bit of some upside movements here as your MACD is getting that cross above our indicator line, printing our first green candle on that histogram. We've got a reversal signal that has flashed and that prime oscillator heading back up and switching to the green. Your volume is slowing down quite a bit here on this hourly though, so that is something to keep our eye on. It might be a little bit exhausted on ADA, and we might see that resistance coming all over again at 76 cents if we get a little bit of some upside. We do have that heavy data drop coming out this morning, so if we do see any of that pumping action back up towards the highs at around 75 cents, we might see that resistance in that area first and see if that data drop sends us back down. Let's take a look at that 15-minute and the morning. 15-minute in the morning looking like it's getting some reversal signals that have flashed. We're getting that sideways action on both the MACD and the prime oscillator there, so we'll kind of have to see if we can continue to get some money flow coming on in. Jesse saying Tetris. No, I can't. It was a game that was all about penguins, so I can't remember what the name of the game was, but a lot of kids used to play it when I had gotten a little bit older, so I never hopped on it, but I know my sister loved that game. Every time someone says Tetris, the song fires up in my head. Yeah, I used to play Tetris quite heavily though. I was a little bit, we're talking a little bit of a game after that. So let's take a look at BTC dominance real quick. We are seeing it get a little bit of some downside action, but it is not correlating with some altcoin pumpage, which means that you're seeing a little bit of that dominance flowing into your stables. We'll kind of have to see on this 1 hour what we're looking like. We're breaking below that 64.35, which is an area we had talked about quite heavily. We are looking like we're heading a little bit further to the downside, so we'll kind of have to see what that tether dominance is. USDTD. Not seeing that there. USDT, there it is. Market cap dominance. And as you can see here, that tether dominance is heading back towards the upside as that Bitcoin dominance was heading back down. So that does mean a little bit of that money that people are taking profits on is heading into stables and not into your altcoin projects. So let's take a look at some hype that was requested as well. We'll kind of go a little bit quicker through these ones. Crypto, there we go. There it is. Hyperliquid making that move up to the one line of our fib extensions there. Seeing a little bit of some rollover here on both that MACD and prime oscillator, but it's doing so with some sideways momentum here. We're seeing that move a little bit sideways there as it breaks below our indicator line and stays below our zero line, and that prime oscillator sitting in the red while your volume is quite low here on the hourly. So we'll kind of have to see if we can get some volume coming back in at about 45.123. Let's get that horizontal drawn out for you because we blasted through all those other levels we had been looking at. Got that drawn out for you. We've got our platinum pocket residing right below that, so that's something to keep your eye on if we are unable to maintain that range there. We've got a little bit of some flag in action as we're staying very close to this one line here, making some higher lows, some higher highs as well. We're kind of waiting to see if we get that break of trend here after we saw that resistance coming in on the one line this morning. We do have the 15-minute and the morning looking like it's quite overheated. We did see that hidden divergence stack up. We got that reversal signal that flashed when we made that brief visit above our one line and our MACD and prime oscillator, getting a little bit of some sideways momentum, but that volume's slowing up quite heavily. So we'll kind of have to see if we can get that volume increasing back there at $45. That's kind of that area to watch for. Might need to see if we can get some more cool off with some sideways momentum in this range. We do have the top side coming in at about $48. So kind of that little sideways range to watch for. We had hype, link, BTC dominance. So link next. We'll take a look at some link, see what we're looking at there. Getting that strong move up to 1653 before we really saw that resistance coming back in on some link. Let's take a look at the hourly here, see what we're looking at. Got that nice strong bounce off of $14.15. That was an area we had talked about for link, seeing some resistance from that range back here. We got above it, got that quick bounce off of it, got that move back above our golden pocket there. We are seeing the MACD and prime oscillator getting that curvature back towards the upside here, waiting on some money flow and volume though. So volume has slowed down quite a bit for link. We've got our secondary reversal signal that has flashed. We do have a bit of a bearish divergence that is already kind of played out, so we'll kind of have to see if we come all the way back down to this golden pocket, which is that $15 mark, to really see that strong support and money flow coming on in. If you do not hold that, we do have a bit of an area from the highs back here and the highs that were resistance. We've got that coming in quite nicely there. So about 14 and a half to 14.15 would be that range for the bottom side to kind of watch for if you don't see this golden pocket holding up. That was the resistance from back here. In our sideways range that we had been watching, and then that was the highs before we got that bounce back above the golden pocket. So about that 14 and a half to 14.15 would kind of be what I would keep my eye on if you're unable to maintain $15 for some link. Let's get that zoomed on in. Take a look at the 15-minute and the morning here. 15-minute and the morning, getting a little bit of some sideways action on both that prime oscillator and MACD. We did see a little bit of a reversal signal start to flash as we were unable to get above the lows of this range. Coming in at that 1550, we're starting to see some resistance stack up against that point. We'll kind of have to see if we can break above that. Value area low is $14.50. So coming in right at that top side that we were talking about for a little bit of some buying pressure. So kind of love that correlation. Let's see what we'd be looking at for a little bit of some downside action, because that prime oscillator and MACD does look like it could roll over and see a little more of some sideways action if we continue to reject off of $15.50. That first area to kind of watch for going to be that golden pocket and $15. Let's see, we've got 528. We'll take a look at Pudgy on that 15-minute, see what we're looking at there. It's on Coinbase. Jesus, what is Coinbase doing? They're just taking any project now, aren't they? Let's take a look at that daily. Just continued upside there. Dang, Jesse. I hope you're a little bit ready to take some profits, because who knows if that can keep running. We've got low too high to the quick low there, seeing resistance at the 1618, sitting directly above that right now. So let's take a look at that hourly, see what we're looking at. Sideways momentum on the MACD and prime oscillator, sitting in the red, bumping up against that 1618 over and over again. We did see a little bit of resistance before we broke through that one line on our extension. All of this being a little bit of a gap here. So let's see if we can at least maintain 02724 and then see that hold as some support to try to see if we can get back above our golden pocket extension there. The profits are already secured, most of them, says Jesse. Well, smart man there. Definitely looking like it's a bit toppy on most of those time frames. We had that daily looking extremely toppy there, getting that secondary rollover, looking like you might have a bearish divergence that comes in the call. Money flow starting to head sideways. Volume still increasing though. So 4 hour also looking quite toppy, getting some cool off with that sideways action, but that money flow rolling over, volume starting to head a little sideways there. 1 hour, not 2 hour. 1 hour volumes rolling over, money flow looking like it's about to dip back into the red. 15-minute and the morning looking like you're seeing a little bit of some heating up on these oscillators as we're moving a little bit sideways there. So that money flow staying briefly in the green, but your volume's starting to slow down quite heavily. So that's that first little area I would look for on the bottom side that we had talked about. 0 to 7, about 7.3 is that area to kind of keep your eye on. That's where we saw a little bit of some bouncing action off of before we saw that golden pocket fib extension coming into play. It is 5:31 and time to head over to that morning motivational video. So I hope everyone has a great day today and a great morning. We've got that data drop coming out at 8:30 Eastern time, so make sure you've got those stop losses set a little bit conservative, because you might see some crazy action coming in this morning. Make sure to tune in to that morning market report with Piper at 10 a.m. Eastern time. He will break down that data for you. We've got Trading with OC at 8 p.m., a great place to learn how to make some money on these charts. We've also got that Markets After Dark for you late night folk, or for you folk that are not in the United States. Great place to do some trading and some learning. That's that Asia market trading time opening. So a great place to do some learning as well. I hope to see y'all at the next one, and make sure to wake up, because today's going to be a good day.